So that was creepy. As I was pushing record, for some reason my phone decided not to operate, and here we are on the other side of the island. I know earlier we were over in Breton Point talking about pre-Revel War and a governor over there. Now here we are in another section of the state, Coventry, where there's a lot of cool historical stuff over here. Coventry is a nice place to visit, but I sure as hell wouldn't want to live here anymore. Now the field that I'm in is really cool because this field actually used to be training grounds for Rhode Island Red. This was their drill field and where they set up their tents and stuff before they headed up to join in with the Kentish Guard. Now, if you don't know who the Rhode Island Reds are, they are Coventry's militia unit that was formed to go fight in the Rev War. The field itself, if you're going to look for artifacts, I really don't know what you're going to find. It's very wet, it's very moshy. You might find some of the old farming stuff here. There is some more of that equipment here from the structure that was here afterwards. But as far as like buttons, probably not. Slugs, probably not, because they wouldn't have been doing live fire down here unless they were trying to hit a deer. And a lot of these trees, they're rather new. They weren't here during that time period. This was all open field for farming. Now, I don't know if 100% Nathaniel Green had owned this part. His homestead is not far from this, so it's not farm-fetched to think that he didn't. I don't know really the research of who owned the property during that time. Could have been another colonist that owned it. The building's probably long gone. Now, I'm on the side of probably one of the most haunted cemeteries I have ever been in my life. And I spent a lot of my youth in this thing growing up. And you guys have seen the crazy videos of me wrestling in there. And I'm very, at the same sense, I'm sorry I did it, but I'm not, because I revolutionized stuff and I did something that others didn't. And no, I wasn't disrespectful to the headstones, knocking them over. I was disrespectful climbing on them as a young kid. I really shouldn't have done that. But the premises was pretty cool at the time. And we got some really cool footage out of that you'll never be able to record to this day. Now, before we go in there, I'm going to let you guys know I'm going to run my ghost gear in here, which will record some of the sounds, and then I'll play it back for you guys later on. Can't really do both at the same time because I wasn't prepped for that and didn't bring my camera. So this is kind of like a guerrilla on the spot ghost hunt inside here. I'm also going to take some pictures of some of the headstones and the markers for the cemetery group I belong to up on Facebook, which is really cool. I like those guys. They got some cool stuff up there. It's weird how we glorify death. It really is, and the stuff that we do. But we do, and there's a lot of art inside what we're doing here with the markers. And it's no different from other civilizations. Like the Egyptians had the huge pyramids and huge markers for their dead. Ours are just smaller. Do I think a lot of these, they're kind of like polluting? They are. I mean, they are remembering people, but some of these people, let's be honest, their families aren't here no more. And they are just waiting for someone like you or I to come read and maybe remember a point of their life that they were once alive and part of. And a lot of these folks, like, honestly, their families are gone. Now, a little known history, if we decided to, we could pull something like France and England did, but as Americans, we very rarely do that. We used to do it in the earlier days, but not so much now. If your family is not paying for said plot or the maintenance of it, the town that owns this establishment or the state has the right to dig you up and move you into what's called a paupers area, and where you'll be unmarked. Do we do that? Not anymore. They definitely did that a lot back in the colonial days up in Boston. People buried on top of people. Salem, Newport. A lot of the cities did do that. Now, they got a lot of their ideas, of course, from their European brethrens, like France and England, who would take their bodies after a while, and they made those huge catacombs out of them. And there are miles upon miles of corpses down there. That's just how they did it. They had to make room for the people that were dying then. And eventually, somewhere down the road, we might have to do the same, because the dead, as one of my favorite movies used to say, and if you know which one it is, send me it at the dead outnumber the living. So again, this is Rendrag. I'm saying goodbye to you, and maybe someday I'll tell you some of the stories and adventures inside this cemetery. After all, this is Horrors of History, and my history is important.